This being a slow-ass week for movies, I kind of feel like I wanted to talk about one of my all-time favorite shows. And with the movie coming fast approaching, I feel like it's the perfect time. Entourage, the series. Alright, so Entourage was a show that ran from 2004 to 2011, I believe it was. And Entourage was made literally right after, I believe, Sex and the City ended. And the reason why I bring that show up is because, basically, Sex and the City was dominating the HBO charts, and a lot of us dudes were like, "Where's Sex and the City for us?" So Mark Wahlberg and Doug Elin got together, and they're just like, "Let's make a show that's about a bunch of dudes just hanging out and living an awesome lifestyle." And thus we have Entourage. Entourage is a show that is about this big movie star named Vince Chase, who's played by Adrian Grenier, and his crew, basically his best friends E and Turtle, and his less successful half-brother named Johnny Drama, and their agent named Ari Gold, played by Jeremy Piven. And the show basically just demonstrates how awesome it is to be an actor, how the ups and downs of Hollywood, how Hollywood sort of affects you and everything like that. And the show has some really good writing. Andrew Dice Clay's in a few episodes. Sasha Grey, the porn star, the chick who's in the Eminem Spacebound video from a few years back. She's in the show. She's part of like a storyline that happens in the show, which I'll get to in a moment. Seriously, the dialogue alone just makes this show awesome. It is well written. The dialogue it's so believable, and the things like characters say, some of the stuff you'd say to your friends, and some of the stuff is pretty offensive shit. Especially with the stuff that Ari Gold says. But the writing is just so good. I feel like it's on the level of like Pulp Fiction, Wolf of Wall Street type of dialogue, where it's so good, and you can't help but quote some of the stuff that Johnny Drama says or Ari Gold says or so forth. You know what I mean? And you can really buy the fact that these guys are best friends. Like they have such a good chemistry that you're like, yeah, these guys definitely could have been friends since they were kids, and that's what those characters are, and they do that. They demonstrate that extremely, extremely well. You know what I mean? And because of the fact that this show is about an actor in Hollywood, this show has a shit ton of cameos, and you know what I mean. You see Val Kilmer in one episode, James Cameron's in a couple of episodes, Mandy Moore. I'm trying to, there's Tom Brady's in one episode. Mark Wahlberg's in a bunch, though. But it's understandable Mark Wahlberg's in a bunch of episodes because Mark Wahlberg is one of the creators of the show. But the main show stealer of the show is Ari Gold, played by Jeremy Piven. Jeremy Piven straight up kills it in this role. The dude is loud, the dude is obnoxious, the dude is offensive. He's basically what I think a Hollywood producer would be. But Jeremy Piven does this role so well. It's that type of role that whatever role Jeremy Piven has done since Entourage will never, ever amount to what Jeremy Piven has done with Ari Gold. Ari Gold gets the best lines of the show. A lot of them are pretty offensive shit, but it's stuff that it's so offensive you can't help but laugh at. And especially just how the dude is so determined to make sure that, that all of his clients are happy. And the dude puts his business in front of his family, which is actually my favorite stuff of Entourage. It's the stuff between him and his wife, which you would think with a show about an actor's lifestyle, you think the stuff about like a character's wife and their family stuff wouldn't be entertaining, but it is. It actually makes me laugh really, really hard. I hope that's a lot of that is in the Entourage movie. It looks like it will be, so we'll have to see about that. Now, unfortunately, this show isn't like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, where there's not 1 week season. There are actually 2 week seasons, and they were season 7 and season 8. The problem with season 7 was that it went too, I guess, dramatic, and it went too far with the direction they took some of the characters. And granted, that stuff has happened in Hollywood, but it took away from the fun of Entourage. The fun of Entourage is just how awesome it is to be a movie star and everything like that. And what season 7 did is it just took it in a completely different direction, and it just kind of spiraled down in a way. And even though in season 8 they kind of did bring back some of the fun of what made Entourage so great, you can't help but feel like this isn't as fun as the first couple of times that I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? But overall, I feel like Entourage is a really really good show with great writing, great characters. Did sort of fizzle out towards the end, but overall, Entourage is a great show. And if you haven't watched Entourage, I suggest check it out. It's like 10. There's like 10, 12 episodes in each season, and every episode's like 25 to 30 minutes. So you can finish basically a season in a day. You know what I mean? And so if you're someone who's never watched Entourage but you're interested in seeing the movie, I'd say check out the Entourage show because you are going to have a blast with it. I guarantee you. So I'm going to give Entourage an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic show with great dialogue, great characters. It does have its weak seasons, and it did fizzle out towards the end, but overall, it's a great show. And if you haven't watched Entourage yet, check it out because every season's like 10 to 12 episodes, and each episode is like 30 minutes. So you could literally finish a season in like a day if you really want to like binge watch through it. Trust me. It's pretty fast. So yeah, Entourage, great show. I can't wait for the movie, and yeah, that's Entourage.